He hasn't gotten death. The jury hasn't come back yet,
Okay.
but they could come back any minute. Then when we go to Kelly Craft out there,
Then I move.
then you're going to go over and work the crowd. And Julie will throw to you over there.
See how far from this I can walk.
Yeah.
Hey, Julie, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Sure.
You know what, one more time, would you talk to me one more time?
No, I'm okay.
So I'm hearing you outside.
He's busy.
He's taller
I
in real
think
person.
in
now,
my
isn't
ear,
he?
I think I'm hearing you. Can
Just a
you
little
talk
bit.
to me one more time? One more time in my ear, please.
We have a second hand on the clock. Amazing.
Oh, hey, Sean.
Hello, hello, hello.
Sean, I hate to have you do this. Just put this on the table. Because I'm
Hey,
connected here.
Yes, hi.
Hey, could I get another
Good,
IFB
thanks.
check, please?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I can hear you. Thanks, you guys. I wish we could have this every day.
I have no idea where they're going to put me in what line.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's Sean that's in front of the camera now. I know.
Do a clap chat.
Thank you.
I wonder if I should. I don't want to have both in because then I couldn't hear in person. I want to be able to talk to one ear. I think I'm here. Okay.
We got a nice crowd. Nice crowd. Shuffling in.
Yeah. Hi, Matt Johnson.
Hi, Julie Graham.
Sync real fast on E601F with any of the other cameras.
I love pushing the limits with goulash. That's my favorite thing. Whatever you ask for, he'll try to make
I
it.
love. Hi, sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check my check. Here with Vinnie Politan.
Yes, hi. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
You really got me. What do we get? 77? All right.
If you're talking to me, I am. I don't know who you're talking to.
Control room here. All right. I have a clock with seconds on it. It's amazing. You never get that on the road.
So that being said,
Yes, I have you. Whoever's talking.
No.
And I also hear myself.
Do we know what
All right,
IFB
1, 2,
Julie's
3, 4,
on? Is it
5.
not- But they probably Tech Ops knows, right? They don't know who. I'm not sure. There's still no verdict, right, Virginia? Still no verdict?
they have nothing around.
Do we start at 8 or do we start early?
It starts at 20 seconds. Because of the delay.
Hey, John. I can hear myself in my ear.
Hey, Lorenzo, audio. Lorenzo. Matt Johnson's
I'm Vinnie Politan. We are live in Nashville, Tennessee, where all the big players and big names in the world of true crime have gathered in one place. And tonight, they're going to be on the show as we are live from CrimeCon 2024. Chad and Lori Daybell, the doomsday couple, convicted of a string of horrendous murders. Little JJ, his sister Tylee, and Tammy Daybell. 3 lives taken so Chad and Lori could be alone together with a bag of money in Hawaii. Murders they tried to justify through a warped vision of religion and God involving zombies and darkness. Lori's been sentenced to life behind bars, and today is Judgment Day for the prophet Chad Daybell.
Each visit, no matter where they lived, Lori always expressed her deep appreciation that we gave them the greatest gift ever. That is just one part of why this causes so much pain. It is a betrayal that can't be explained.
Meanwhile, BTK, the 3 letters that bring horror to the minds of so many in the true crime community. A serial killer who taunted police and went undetected for years. And now, shocking new revelations about BTK coming directly from his daughter. Tonight, Kerry Rawson joins us live to reveal this new information, live from CrimeCon 2024 in Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome to a special edition of Closing Arguments. We are live in Nashville, Tennessee, and oh, wait a minute, who's that next to me? My co-host for the next 2 hours, Julie Grant.
Oh, it's so great to be with you, my friend, Vinnie. Wow.
So this is like Haley's. This is like
Oh.
Haley's Comet, because you're on in the morning,
Right.
I'm at night. We never ever see each other, but now we're
to meet.
together for 2 hours.
I love it.
For 2
This
hours.
is so much fun. Thank you for having me,
Who else
my
is
friend.
with us?
Our other friend,
Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson's here too.
Matt, great to see you.
Great to see you both in person. Usually I'm out on the remote.
You're always on the monitor, right?
Yeah.
Headline right now is I'm not wearing this top. I'm sitting here, I was expecting to be wearing this, but we're not, and we're in a verdict watch for Chad Daybell for the penalty phase.
Right.
What are your thoughts about where we are and this jury's taking their time? There hasn't been someone delivered the death penalty verdict since I think like 2017 or 2007. It's been a while in Idaho.
Right, Vinny, you're right about that. I think he could be the first to get that recommendation from this jury.
I also think it's incredibly bizarre that we get to the penalty phase and they have no case presentation whatsoever.
That's
I'm
strange.
stunned at that.
Yeah.
He might as well have pleaded and saved everybody all of the time, saved the victims, the heartache. It's just a despicable case. He is a despicable defendant, and I am
I know, but here's the thing, right? What days? It's Friday.
right.
And I've been at Court TV, I think before you were born, I've been at Court TV.
I don't know about that.
But like 75%.
Do I get lumped into that? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You were a toddler. So, can you believe she just did that to me?
No, I
feel bad.
No, because I got a birthday coming up.
Yeah,
And it's
okay.
always like every year,
All right.
I get lower. I'm like, oh, okay.
But
And
Fridays.
he gave me a couple years about?
75% of verdicts come in on Fridays.
I know you always say that.
It's
You-
the
you
Friday
started the
factor.
verdict read thing
It's
with
the
your
it's the
time.
Friday. So I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready for this verdict. But right now, let's go out to Court TV.
Vinnie, no. And first of all, thank you to all of you for providing a moment of levity here, because it has just been a tough day here in Boise, Idaho. Of course, hearing the statements from the victims in this case and just how heartfelt they all were. And on him. And so they have been deliberating now for about 4 hours. They did have a lunch break earlier, so I might be a little bit off on the time, and then they got going. No word yet on what time Judge Boyce, he is the judge, presiding judge in this case, what time he's going to tell them to stop. From our understanding, he's going to let them go as long as they want. They are sequestered. So it's possible if they don't reach a decision tonight, they even can come back tomorrow and work on Saturday. So right now, outside the courthouse, really, we have a bunch of media professionals still here. Inside, there still are family members and law enforcement officers, as well as the whole court crew that is inside the courthouse, keeping the doors open for people to come in and out. But just a very somber day here in all, as everyone awaits a decision from the jurors. This morning, we took notice of some distance that appeared between Chad Daybell as well as his defense counsel. So we weren't exactly certain what that was. We were trying to read into it because, as I heard you mention in the beginning of the show tonight, Chad Daybell did not make a statement in allocution. His team, his defense counsel, did not present any evidence in mitigation. And so we were wondering, is this something, the distance between them, is that because Chad Daybell told his attorney, no, but why are we bothering? Don't even present anything. And then, of course, defense counsels, a lot of times when they take these cases, they see the evidence stacked against them and they think, okay, well, at least maybe I can have a win in saving this man's life and fight for that. But here, the only thing that we heard from defense counsel John Pryor, he made his opening statement and then he also made his closing argument in order to try to save Chad Daybell's life. But throughout today, we heard 9 victim impact statements. We heard from Tammy Daybell's father, her 2 brothers. We also heard from Tylee Ryan's aunt. We heard from Kay Woodcock. Why don't we go ahead and play some of those victim impact statements?
The tragedy of the case has harmed our family's relationship with the kids. I will remain open to rebuilding a relationship with them. It makes me angry, and it destroys me to know Tammy was treated how she was. I find it comforting to know that Tammy is resting peacefully in Utah, buried alone, and near her beloved mother.
The decision was made to place Canaan with Charles and Lori after they approached us with their desire to have a child of their own. We agonized over the decision, but knew from our past interactions with them that it was the right one. Charles and Lori were granted custody a few short months later. It was then Canaan became JJ. It was happy and devastating at the same time. We loved raising him. We gave all our love and energy, ensuring he grew, thrived, and knew what unconditional love. That time was priceless, and his growth and milestones were evidence of our love for him. Each visit, no matter where they lived, Lori always expressed her deep appreciation that we gave them the greatest gift ever. That is just one part of why this causes so much pain. It is a betrayal that can't be explained.
I also found out in that chat she loved New York City. That was my open door. So I lobbed the idea of flying her out for her 18th birthday over the fence, and it was a hit. I planned to show her the best views that tourists don't know about, walk the High Line together, get real pizza, take her to the rotating restaurant in Times Square with breathtaking 360 views of the city, and let her reconnect with my daughter, who she hadn't seen since she was little. Her 18th birthday couldn't have been further from this celebratory event. I had imagined, as her remains had been recently discovered in the defendant's backyard.
Always so tough to hear the victim impact statements in cases like these. And Julie, you did ask me any reaction from Chad Daybell. We did notice as the morning progressed, as the day progressed, the relationship between Chad Daybell and John Pryor, it seemed to warm up a bit. And then at the end, before jurors went back to and he did talk about Chad Daybell being a farm boy and a small town boy, saying that he didn't have any experience with relationships. Pryor had to say.
You can judge someone by their past and predict how they're going to be in the future, unless there's an interjecting trajectory that maybe changes the plan. And that trajectory that bomb that came into his life was a woman who previously had been married 4 times. And that bomb brought chaos to Chad Daybell's life.
So if those comments humanize Chad Daybell in the eyes of any of the jurors, we'll have to see if it generates some sort of compassion to spare his life. We'll have to see. Again, they've been deliberating about 4 hours. How long they're going to go tonight, I wish I could tell you, but we do not know.
CrimeCon doing the show live here. We're on pins and needles to see the jury could come back tonight.
I
We
can't
could
believe we're
have
on Vertical
some
Watch at
finality
CrimeCon.
to this case.
Yeah.
I mean, which has been so huge, as you know, for so many years in the true crime community. So many people following it, and we have so many wonderful fans here supporting us as we do this live show. And our Matt Johnson is with them right now. Matt.
Let's first take a look at our live studio audience here at CrimeCon 2024 in Nashville, Tennessee. So we all had a big reaction, this crowd, maybe all of you, when we heard from Kelly Craft in her report that Chad didn't really have much experience with women, and what were your thoughts? What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Sam, and I'm from Arizona. And just hope the jury gets it right, honestly.
Do you think we're going to have a verdict red tie night for Vinnie?
I sure hope so. We're all excited to see
Oh, round of applause over here. All right, let me come on this side. So what's your name and where are you from?
Sherry, and I'm from Brentwood, Tennessee.
So talk to me about this case. I know it's really impacted everyone coast to coast as this has been playing out, and it all started with the Woodcocks. Where are the children?
That's a...
Really hoping that they come back with a verdict, but I mean, he's the prophet, so we would expect that maybe he knows something we don't. I don't know. Maybe he knows it's coming back, and he figured it's futile to put on a case. I don't know.
Yeah, the prophet who predicted the end of the world, the doomsday prophet, and not much experience with women, right? Yeah, okay. We'll send it back to you guys.
You'll see it, you'll hear it right here on Closing Arguments. But when we come back, let's talk about another Daybell, another trial for another murder. That's next. This is where all the action is. This is the Court TV booth. This is your front row seat to CrimeCon. The original true crime obsession. We've got people's obsessions. They're writing them all up here. Killer or cover-up murder, the McDonald family case, the Moscow murders, justice. We love Court TV. These people really love Court TV. How much do you love Court TV?
100%. We love Court TV.
Yeah, our camera's hot. Oh, hey, we're live on YouTube right now streaming during the commercial. There we go. Mike King is joining us. Mike, how
actually sent me a text and said, what do you think about this? And having looked at culture,
you're cutting. And the part that I'm Charles Vallow, like in the beginning, he knew something was wrong with Lori. But he's a good guy. And like he would go to the police and say she needs help, but he wasn't like trying to get her arrested. He was trying to get her help because he knew it. Her family, most of her family knew she needed help, but she didn't get it. And once she got together with Chad, it was poison.
You know, and we've talked about this on your show so many times about this idea between criminal behavior and deviant behavior. And so the cops are faced with this decision point where they're saying, this is deviant, this is somebody who's acting like they are seeing zombies and everything else, but thinking you're seeing zombies is not criminal.
Right.
But killing zombies certainly is.
Yeah. It's unreal. Do we have anything from the chat?
Yeah, we do actually.
What do we got from the chat?
Shelley Lynch
Shelley Lynch
wants to know what's been your favorite part of CrimeCon?
Favorite part of CrimeCon? The people. The people. It really is. Because we all have this, we have shared value. That's right. He actually exists. He's not AI. He's not AI.
And the boss gave me permission to wear this, by the way, tonight. Said don't go dress up because Vinny won't be.
No, only if we get a verdict, then I put on a red tie. I got it just in case. We'll be there all night. Anything else from the chatters? Yes. The chat. Oh. Yep. Yep.
Seems that way, sure does.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What a great way to be a martyr.
Which is why you should have pled.
Oh, do you think he wants it?
He's sure acting like it, right? I mean, otherwise, then spare all of.
But it could be like George Costanza. Whatever you want, you do the opposite, right? So they're trying to convince the jury that he was not guilty. They found him guilty. So now they're saying, well, let's not even fight for.
Right.
And I've.
Long story. She's had kind of a drug criminality. She thinks you're LDS?
Yes.
She thinks she's married to Moroni in the past. This is her
You think she's what?
was married to Moroni at the top of the temple. I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad. Lately she's had a break. She says, I'm Nick Schneider. I've taken over Charles's body. And Charles will get killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow.
I just went back to the living room. Like, what is your problem?
With the gun again?
Yes. And I said, I want you to put that bat down. And he wouldn't do it. And he's like, and he came at me with the bat again after he'd already hit me in the head. So I shot him to stop him.
Gotcha. How long have you guys lived here? How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors still know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi neighbor, sorry.
Welcome back. We're on a verdict watch live at CrimeCon 2024. I'm here with Julie Grant,
Good to be
co-hosting
with you,
tonight.
my friend. Good to see you.
Lori Daybell's got another trial coming up in Arizona
she
for
does.
the murder of Charles. So let's bring our special guest joining us, regular on your show, regular on my
Love
show.
him.
And it's so fun to be with the two of you. Thank
Tonight, getting ready for a verdict. We're on a verdict watch for Chad Daybell. And secondly, Lori's got a trial coming up. And I'm wondering how all of this may have played differently if Alex Cox didn't die on the toilet.
Interesting. I know that Alex Cox's autopsy said that he died of natural causes. I don't believe it. And I had his brother Adam Cox on my show pretty recently, talking about Chad Daybell's case, talking about just how it's affected the children. He's become a tremendous advocate.
this trial for Lori?
That's a good question.
I think it's going to end in a guilty verdict for another homicide conviction for her.
You think she'll testify about this one?
I don't think that she will. I think she's kind of on another planet. Like, I look at her and I really think she lives on planet Lori, where everything's all about her and she's the goddess. And I think she's still in love with Chad, and I think he hates her guts. I think he is like, she got me in this world of trouble. I don't think there is a marriage anymore. Maybe, who knows, maybe they're portaling to one another from
know what kind of things are going to resonate with a jury and what.
Because they're in contact with one another, like Alex and Chad and Lori. Matt Johnson, who's with the folks who are.
Two for Lori Vallow Daybell, the Doomsday Cult mom in Arizona, Maricopa County. And I was in that courtroom, Vinnie, when she would stare at me and laugh at those witnesses. I'm wondering how she's going to be reacting when she hears that her hubby threw her under the bus. What do you think she's going to be thinking?
I think she's going to be thinking that her husband threw her under the bus. And
is there still love there between the two?
Lori only loves herself. I do not think that there's any love there, and I think Chad would have been her next victim.
Your thoughts on all of this, and your name?
Nadine. I think she's just a wicked woman, and I think that I don't even think she's aware that he threw her under the bus. I really don't. I think she's a little off.
Wouldn't we all like to be a fly on the wall of that prison cell when she learned the news that she didn't want to say anything bad about her husband, the Doomsday Prophet, and then he pointed the finger at her, Vinnie?
Vinnie, I thought she could be a witness for him, for the defense. I really did. I truly believe that if John Pryor would have sent a subpoena over to the prison where she is and said, we want you to come in and testify, I think she would have jumped at the chance to say wonderful things about her husband and do anything to help him out. But I don't think we can say the same for him. I think he would not be interested in helping her out.
All right, we're about 4.5 hours into our verdict watch. We'll keep that going. But when we come back, we're going to switch gears because there's big news today coming in the BTK case. His daughter, Carrie Rawson, joins us live next. What's your biggest true crime obsession right now?
Well, I think it's the Sebastian Rogers case. I think that's kind of my big one. I still want to know what really happened to Riley Stain, and I really...
Delays and errors that caused real distress for students applying for help. So what is your message to those applicants?
That, first of all, we encourage them to apply if they haven't yet. The process is working. Within 3 days, schools are going to get the information that you put in to the computer, and We know over 90% of the colleges are already sending out letters. So the process is working, but look, I want it to work better. I'm not happy with the delays, and our students deserve better, our families deserve better, they're gonna get better. That means that we modernize FSA, the group that, the agency department that is responsible for processing a lot of this. We know that we're bringing it into the 21st century. You know, there's so much more that we're providing at the Department of Education, and we need to make sure that we're modernizing our systems to serve our students better.
Okay, I want to move on to the state of our public schools. I broadcast here from Montana, and in this state, we are seeing proposals to cut teachers in our most populated areas. And then in some parts of rural America, they have no applicants for certain jobs, threatening to cut programs like music entirely, add in teacher burnout and retention issues. How do you address these stats?
Right in the beginning. That was a wow.
That one, when anybody asks me about that one, just there's something about it that really, really got me. And I just couldn't wrap my mind around that one. Him and the crimes and all of that. And it just, I don't know, there was just something about it that stuck with me. How about you?
Well, outside of the big ones, you know,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp,
Right.
Murdoch, and those, Ezra McCandless.
Oh, yeah. That was...
Ezra, what was going on with her?
That was
to me, there was like a nice group of young people that would like hang out at the coffee house, and all of a sudden it turned into this brutal murder.
That was awful.
Didn't
You're
make
right.
sense to me, but that was one, and I think it was from WW. You have anything else from the chatterers?
Great question. Thanks for all those.
So we've got the head of Court TV that is actually feeding us the questions.
That's so awesome. I know. I feel very.
He's the hardest working man in show
He
business.
really is, and the brightest. Ethan Nelson, everybody. Ethan Nelson. He's our wonderful boss.
Yeah.
We love him. He's over there. He gave us that last question. So, any more questions on the YouTube?
But folks, make sure you hit the like button. All right. Hit the like button. Smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And like and subscribe. And you can subscribe to my YouTube page too. You know, I have one, Vinnie Politan 1. Vinnie Politan 1. Like and subscribe. We're waiting to get another question from the chat over there.
Oh wait, are you talking to Carrie? I just heard it in my ear. Yeah. Do you know what? So you have Julie Grant. I'm called in. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Kansas.
Okay, thank you, boss. Thank you.
So which part of Orlando? I used to live down there.
Castleberry, like North Orlando, Seminole County.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're up in the non-tourist.
What did you do then?
Strangled her.
What did you strangle her with?
Pantyhose.
All right, what happened then? Did she die?
Kind of like Mrs. Hedge. I already figured out I had a plan on leaving, and put her in a blanket and drug her to the car and put her in the trunk of the car.
So you were able to strangle her to death with these pantyhose?
Yes, sir.
It's scary when you see this man, BTK, and when you hear him and you learn the story, but could you imagine growing up and that's your father?
Yeah, and that's something I talk about from time to time on my show, how when you have someone that carries out a homicide or multiple homicides, they're victimizing so many people, including their own family members.
Absolutely. And joining us now is BTK. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to see you.
And the buzz here at CrimeCon is about the news that you are sort of breaking, the revelation that you're having. So why don't you explain to us, the folks at home, and everybody here, what you discovered and figured out?
Yeah, so and then we went back in and there was another notation. So the reason I didn't share this at last CrimeCon was because all of this stuff was breaking. My dad's yard was dug up. All of this stuff was going on and I was having to process it in therapy. And then also I was hitting legal gags and NDAs. And I was like, You know, was he doing some kind of sexual abuse that didn't leave any physical marks? Because we know he didn't rape the victims that we know of, right? But he did things next to him. So all of this was kind of compiling, and it was like there was this missing component that something was not adding up. A month later, I was back helping them. I was in the evidence files. Now, we've all seen Polaroids of my dad dressed up.
Right, yeah.
There's about 90% of stuff nobody in the public have seen. There's a Polaroid of him dressed up like a woman. She's about 4, and he's in missionary position, and he's strangling the doll. And he took that photo in a motel party. And when I saw that, laid it out. Yeah, because I had done therapy and I had done EMDR on it. Right before I went in there to see him, and it was like I was strong all of a sudden, and I just nailed him, like with everything, hedge, like the body in the church, everything, the abuse.
What did he say when you asked him about the abuse? Yeah, okay, we'll see.
You're going to stay here, right?
Yeah.
She's going, thank you so much for sharing this.
Wow, it's not
What we're going to
easy.
do right now, we're going to bring in Dr. Ramsey to join us when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We're live at CrimeCon 2024 in Nashville, Tennessee.
Sorry, I need to watch the clock. Sorry about that.
We are a true crime podcast, and we discuss murders committed by Black women. We talk about their life. We talk about the different socioeconomic disparities that they may have gone through that led up to a life of crime.
Yeah, we're back on YouTube, streaming. Hot Mess Mom wants to know, what was the most shocking verdict? Could it be something that happened in Orlando? That woman? What was her name? What was her name? Don't say it. No, don't say it. Yeah, it was definitely the case down in Orlando involving a little girl named Kaylee Marie Anthony. And that was absolutely the most shocking moment. If you look back on the clips of me from that moment, since then, though, what I've learned is to never think you know what a jury's thinking. Ever. You just don't know. What was your most
That's a
shocking
good point.
verdict?
Let's see. That we've covered, huh? I was trying to think if there was anything that, I mean, obviously I think in general, like, you're right, Casey Anthony, the O.J. Simpson case obviously was stunning.
Well, O.J. was
like,
stunning at the moment, but in retrospect, when you look back at it and the lead investigator is asked, did you plant evidence, and he takes the fifth in front of the jury, it's not quite as shocking.
Horrible, I know.
It's not quite as shocking,
Yeah,
but at
it's
the moment it
atrocious.
absolutely was.
Right. I'm trying to think if anything shocked me. Like, I don't know.
Were there any that you thought, oh, this person's going to walk?
Oh, I'll take, yes. You know what? Kit Martin. Christian Kit
See,
Martin.
I fed it to you.
You
I
did.
knew that was
Thank
the
you
one.
for that. Yes, I still don't. I'm not convinced. I still don't think
He was
that
the
they proved
pilot.
it. Yes, I don't think they proved that case beyond a reasonable doubt.
reasonable
And I'll
doubt.
tell you why.
There were 2 guns.
Well, right, 2 guns, and then so
two
he was
guns?
an avid
Other
shooter.
than Alec Murdoch.
Yeah, him,
He had 2
exactly.
guns also.
This Kit Martin, remember, was an avid shooter.
Yeah.
And he would shoot all the time in his backyard. And they processed that porch and found nothing on the porch. And then, like, weeks later, someone who had a connection to somebody in the case
Found a dog tag or something?
found a spent shell casing.
That's right.
And
yeah, it was peculiar.
And I remember, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it was like shiny brass. But if he had left his brass, out in the lawn, it would be weathered and the elements would hit it. It wouldn't look pristine like it did. So I don't know. That didn't sit well with me.
I think he lost his appeal.
I got another one.
Oh.
Melly. Oh, I know Melly.
Who is a Court TV YouTube member, court clerk.
Jed Match. What is it?
JonBenét is a website where if you've done a DNA test with Ancestry, 23andMe, any of the major DNA testing companies, you can take that DNA data, download it, and then upload it to JonBenét for free. And you can get matched with over 2 million people that are from all different testing companies all across the world. I think at this point, over 1,000 cases have been solved.
Welcome back. We are live at CrimeCon 2024, Nashville, Tennessee. Julie Grant, my co-host, with me. We're still on a verdict watch. We can't forget we're on a verdict watch for the death penalty of Chad Daybell. We're right now focusing on BTK.
We are.
BTK's daughter's with us, and also joining us right now. I want to make sure I get everything right. Professor much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
From your perspective, what is the biggest misperception of serial killers and their minds that you think the public may have?
That they're all the same. That they somehow we can figure out nature.
Studying Dennis Rader in particular, writing with him, what surprised you the most about him?
About him?
Thought, oh my God, he had a cuss jar on the refrigerator, and as a teenager, you better not cuss because it was going to cost you.
So profanity was a problem for
But
him.
murder was
But
okay.
homicides were not, right?
Yeah.
But even
And he's over here being Mr. Law Abiding to Dr. Ramsey.
So, do they, serial killers, and again, it might be different for all of them, do they ultimately all want to get the recognition?
Does he have a DID, dissociative identity disorder, or multiple personality disorder? Dennis Rader.
No.
I'm just curious. When you said he was like one person,
No,
one mom, one
he
another.
cubes, which is a term Dr. Ramsey came up with. He cubes, if you want to
It's like
explain
he has
it.
multiple sides that he can pivot.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's not.
No, he
he's
flips.
not-
He's flipping. And what she explained, her and my dad developed this term cubing.
Cubing.
He's like showing you officer, church person, father, and he actually has a uniform for even taking
And
out the
it's
trash.
not multiple
No,
personalities.
he's in
Okay.
control of it.
Wow.
But I thought listening to
Wow.
her, it was a slow thing. But then when I went into prison and saw it, he's spinning a dice very quickly, and you go, it's like dad, BTK, psychopath, unknown, dad. It's very, very fast.
Because he's not deeply rooted in integrity. So he can
Clearly not. Right,
switch
right.
whenever the situation calls for.
So can you spot one? Like, is it possible to spot a serial killer like before they get caught, and just by knowing them? Like, if you were spending time in an office setting or something, do you think you could recognize?
I would see certain behaviors that I would say are potential red flags, but that doesn't mean I could definitely identify a serial
No,
killer.
like I can tell you now, like a narcissist or a psychopath, like they have tells, but that doesn't. You can be a healthy psychopath and run a business and not be a murderer.
Yeah.
Carrie, back to your story when you were starting to share how you went to prison and you didn't plan to confront Dad with the alleged sex abuse, but then things went differently than you had planned, and you did. What did he say? Did he admit it?
No, he denied it. He got very mad and very evasive. And he goes, I never touched family. And I said, that's a lie, Dad, because you strangled my brother twice in front of us as a young adult. And I saw it. So we know you did touch family. We know you physically abused my brother. And so law enforcement, he waived Miranda, and law enforcement came in and they pulled the journal up. And I said, because if you present facts to my father in the first cases, when they presented facts, he did confess. I presented the facts to him. I said, what does this say? He goes, oh, it was just a fantasy. So he goes from I never touched family
It's a fantasy.
to when you prove it to him, oh, it was a fantasy.
Has an answer for everything. Carrie Rawson, thank you so much for sharing your story. Dr. Ramsey, great to see you as well. We appreciate it. All right, folks, we've got more to get to. We've got another hour live from CrimeCon. We're on a verdict watch.
Exciting.
Everything is happening. Gabby Petito's parents, all four, will join us when we come back.
I can't wait.
Somebody put a tip in the chat. Star audio feed, so thank you, whoever that was. Big thank you.
YouTube is hot. YouTube is hot.
Someone gave us the tip.
Someone gave us a tip. It's amazing. But Melly wants to know, what was the question from Melly again? Melly had a question. What was Melly's question again?
What's your favorite part about covering true crime?
Favorite part about covering true crime? Well, to me, it's about giving a voice to the victims, right? Because I was a prosecutor, and I know in our system how the victim's voice sometimes disappears. And to be able to do that day in and day out, to me, is an absolute blessing. Hello. How are you? Good to see everyone. Welcome back. Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you? Great to see you.
Are you stepping on your paper there? I don't know if that's important or not.
Nope. That's last segment.
All right.
Good to see you.
See you. How are you?
All right, so have a seat.
I'll get out of the way
Your
here.
Court TV your Court TV group of 35,000 people.
Yes.
Could you send them a little message?
Is this video?
Yes.
Hello from CrimeCon. Great to see everyone. Wish you all were here. You got to come next time. Come see the show. But thank you for supporting Court TV, and thank you for being there for us and being there for all the victims. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yes. Yeah, Matt's going to go over and talk to somebody, right? Matt's going to talk to somebody. Who is that? Murdered and missing Indigenous women and Indigenous
women. Yeah, her name's Darlene Gomez. She's a beast when it comes to knowledge. When it comes to
Yeah. So we're gonna during the next segment we're gonna go to Matt, who's gonna talk to her.
Yeah,
that'd be perfect. It'd be awesome.
She's donated, I guess, $2 million+ pro bono hours.
Wow.
When it comes to the murder of the MMIW, I'm telling you, I'm fangirling over this girl. You know, because she's so impressive with what she does. So.
Awesome. This is where all the action is. This is the Court TV booth. This is your front row seat to CrimeCon. I've got an exclusive interview. This is where all the action is. This is the Court TV booth. This is your front row seat to CrimeCon. I've got an exclusive interview, folks. A lot of people are watching right now. So tell me, why didn't you testify at your trial? Still not speaking. Why are you here?
Because I am a true crime junkie at heart. I cannot help myself.
How long you been addicted?
Ooh, all my life.
Some people look smaller on TV, and some people look a lot bigger. What's the big one right now?
Honestly, it was Micah Miller. I'm still on that, but I've been venturing into the Karen Reed case, looking into that a little bit more.
Heading up to Massachusetts for Karen Reed, right?
Yeah.
Pascal in the house. Huge. Great to see you. What's your biggest obsession right now?
I think it's the Sebastian Rogers case. I think that's kind of my big one. I still want to know what really happened to Riley Stain, and I was obviously involved in the Daybell stuff from like day one, so that was exciting.
Got to catch them because they leave the DNA behind, and now, boom, Jed match. Locking them up, baby. Well, great to meet you. Thanks again for helping out Court TV.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
The sisters.
The importance of Black and Missing is to bring awareness to people of color that go missing. Just trying to level the playing field and make sure that we get equal coverage throughout the media.
Safety first. Tell me about this.
This is the Safely Sidekick. It has 5 features in one device. So you've got your pepper spray, you've got your knuckles, really bright light, different settings, a glass breaker, and a 130 decibel alarm all in one device.
Good evening.
People who've gathered here to see your show live. This is so much fun. It is a blast.
Big crowd. Now, one of the biggest stories that we've covered since the relaunch of Court TV was a story of a young woman named Gabby Petito, and everyone got to know her, everyone got to love her, and everyone's heart broke at the same time when we found out what happened to her.
Right.
And you imagine, for the folks who follow true crime, how they got so invested in all this and how they feel. Then you take it up around 10 billion notches for Gabby's family and the journey that they had to go through to find out what happened to their daughter. And joining us right now, Gabby's parents all are joining us here tonight at CrimeCon. We've got Tara Petito, Joseph Petito, Jim Schmidt, Nicole Schmidt. Thank you all for being here. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all together. First question: what, from your perspective, having gone through this horrendous journey, here we are on this end of it, and every time I speak with you, your eyes are bright. You're sad, but there's a brightness. It's like what has happened? What has happened in this journey that has landed you where you are now, and where you are with all of these folks? How would you describe that?
It's inspiring to see all these people here at CrimeCon, first of all, but just in general, when we help people or we feel like we're helping people, that keeps us going. It's Gabby's light shining through us, and it just makes us want to keep going and helping and changing this world.
Yeah, absolutely. This is our second year at CrimeCon. Last year, we didn't know what to expect when we came here. We were a little hesitant about coming here. And then when we got here and we realized, what this is really about, how it is victim focused, and how compassionate and supportive everybody was. But on top of that, there are so many people that come here looking for help, looking for answers, people that were in our situation that didn't get the coverage that Gabby got. They're looking to help elevate their voice, helping to find their missing, helping to find out who murdered their loved ones. And for us, if we can be a small piece of helping elevate that voice, it's really what keeps us going.
I'll kind of echo what Jim said. This is a great event that shows nothing but support and an amazing oversharing of stories and whatnot, which is what everybody needs. When you have someone missing or you need justice, that's what they're asking for, and that's what everybody here helps provide, and that's just awesome to see.
I mean, we would do anything to bring Gabby back, but that's obviously not possible. So we have a choice. We can do nothing, or we could use her voice, her platform, and try to change the lives of others, help others, make sure this story does not happen again. So that's what we would love to do.
We commend you for doing that, because it's one thing to talk about it or wish for it, but you all have made it your mission in Gabby's name to do that great work and to let other folks know that they aren't alone. And, Vinnie and I know this from having been prosecutors, and I say it all the time on my show, Vinnie, I know you do on your show as well. Domestic violence is a pervasive problem that affects us all. If we haven't personally experienced it, we know someone close to us who has. Would you speak to that, please? Because it's still one of those subjects that's tough to talk about. And I think so many people watching live in person here and at home on television would appreciate just knowing how many people you've come into contact with who've experienced the same thing.
I think that's important. What you said is it does affect everybody, and nobody's immune from it. The people that think they're not affected by it because it hasn't happened to someone even they know is wrong, because it affects our communities, our cities, our states, and our whole country, and it eventually affects the world. It's just a ripple effect, and we all need to work together to make changes.
Let me ask you this. For you all, in the beginning, when you first have an idea that something is really wrong, what is that moment like for you? And what is that moment like for you when the public attention then turns to you?
Wow. I mean, the attention, so when you have someone missing, you want everyone to help, right? And that's what we needed. So we got that. But then, seeing what I get to see now, I see so many stories don't get that notoriety or don't get that level of attention, and it breaks our heart. Like we want everybody's story to be elevated, and so we try to do that. We try to lead by example. We try and share stories, especially people that don't look like us. You know what I mean? And
let me ask you this though, and let's talk about that. Because we're in the media, we cover these stories. when you came out, like your voices were powerful. Like the emotion that I saw and what I heard, I think was a big part of what grabbed the public's attention. Then obviously Gabby's videos and seeing her and not understanding what happened. But I think it was you speaking up did a lot to do that. And did you consciously do that, or was that just natural?
So I was actually asked not to say something during a conference, but not for any particular reason that we wanted to keep it centric to Gabby and that we found her and stuff. But I had seen someone had tagged me in a Joy Reid, I guess, snippet of a show that she had when the Gwen Ifill, the white woman missing syndrome and all this other stuff. And my first reaction was like, what's going on here? But then we started to look into it, and she's right. There's a hierarchy when it comes to missing people. Don't shoot the messenger. You know what I mean? We notice it even on our own shares. When it comes to missing people, children 12 or under will always get shared. Regardless of the color, will pretty much get shared. And then it's white women. And then it'd be women of color, and then it'd be men. Like when you're a man, if you're over the age of 18 and a man, no one's gonna share you. So when you see stories like a Daniel Robinson, Sebastian Rogers, Riley Strain come out, those are great stories because the parents are really killing themselves to get those stories out there. So commend, what they're doing, but there is a hierarchy, and we're gonna lead by example to share the stories of people that don't look like us and the stories that hit home to help elevate their, and make sure they're found safe just the same.
In terms of legal changes that you may want to see, I wanted to ask you all about something that some jurisdictions have, many do not, and that is lethality assessments, where officers are put through training and they're given certain questions when they respond to a call to see. Essentially, a lethality assessment allows you to kind of take the temperature of the situation to see if somebody may be in danger. There are certain questions asked. I'm curious, has this been something that in all of the work you've been doing, have you been working on prompting legal change to get more training on that for officers?
Absolutely. Lethality assessment, there's those questions on that questionnaire for them. It's not just about the questions that are on there. The whole part of that program is the training that goes along with it. It's that trauma-informed approach. They have to ask certain questions, but it's a matter of how you ask them in a non-judgmental way so that you're empathetic, you're listening, you're truly hearing what they're saying, and at the same time, you're using your police officer brain to then make the determination, they're in a dangerous situation. And from there, you're meeting these benchmarks. And then having them work with their local state certified agencies, their local domestic violence agencies, and getting them to the services they need at a crucial moment. They might not go at that moment, but at least they know that they're there. And it starts that process for safety planning, and it's huge.
Now, the foundation is GabbyPetitoFoundation.org. So before we go to the break, we have like a minute before the break, we have commercials. Okay. Can people help? What can people do? Are you raising money? Are you raising awareness? What's going on over there?
All of it, yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, we raise money. We try to help smaller organizations out there that nobody knows about. And we are working on creating programs that are really tangible for schools. We want to get an education program for the youth. And we're developing a training program for first responders because they don't learn about domestic violence.
Wednesday, we were just on a virtual conference. It was over 121 people in a virtual conference talking to advocates on how to engage your first responders, why they need the training. There's 1.5 million plus first responders in this country that receive very little to no domestic violence training or fire and EMS personnel. So telling them how to engage, that's one program. Getting programs in schools. And then continuing to elevate the voices of the people that are missing and trying to get them found. GabbyPetitoFoundation.org. You're staying with us. One more segment, okay? We've got more to get to. Don't go anywhere. We are live in Nashville, Tennessee, CrimeCon 2024.
Right here, your front row seat to CrimeCon.
much, Robin. Let's see. Okay, I think all of these
What's
are.
that?
Thank you.
People on YouTube are asking how they can help the family.
All right, people on YouTube asking how they can help your family.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things. I mean, you can go to the website and and do a donation, which would be great. You can go and we have a golf outing that's in June 14th. I think we've talked about that before. Then you can sign up for that, which would be great. That should be a great event. That we're gonna take all those proceeds and help build an education program for the youth, and that's we're in our infancy stage for that. But we have a bunch of stuff that we're trying to get to.
So we also have Gabby Find the Missing, our Facebook page.
Yep.
You can go there and share missing stories.
And what's it called again?
Gabby Find the Missing.
Gabby Find the Missing on Facebook.
Yes.
So everyone's going to join. Because people are watching YouTube, now they got to log on to Facebook, but that's okay, they can do it.
But you can share those stories.
Share those stories.
And those shares really do make a difference. So when someone's missing and you see people sharing your stories, it helps you inside to know that people do care, and you do feel better, and then that helps you keep fighting, and that's very important.
And that's a big difference in the world that we live in now with people who are missing. Social media connects so many people in so many different places. Like, for instance, Sebastian Rogers, everyone's talking about that here. There was a tip, someone in North Carolina, there was a photo, everyone, including his father, thought it was him. And it was just because of the awareness that has spread everywhere. So, it's extremely, extremely significant.
I've spoken to Seth a couple times.
You have?
Yeah, I pray for him. I hope Sebastian's found as fast as possible. It really does break our heart.
And I hear a lot of people speculating, and they have all their ideas. I think that we just need to support the family and pray that Sebastian is found, and we don't need to say anything negative until he's found. We need to figure out, let law enforcement do their job.
Because that's the other part of the true crime community. There's a faction that does a lot of speculating, some potentially defamatory accusations fly as well, and I understand that's part of it, of what happens, and it happens anywhere in a public square. But from a family's perspective, like, how much in tune are families to what people are saying about them? Are you very in tune?
Yes.
Well, you try to ignore it. The negative stuff is out there, and you just kind of got to keep going. You have to keep going because it's for your kid or it's for your loved one, and that matters most.
You're trying to take in as much as you can, wherever you can get information from. But you want to make sure that it's factual. It's coming from, reputable sources. It's not, subjective. Somebody's thoughts or whatever it is. Like, you want concrete information, and that's what you kind of hold on to. So, like, just keep it that way. Keep it to the facts. Keep it to what's out there. Share the good information, and that's all they can ask for.
Especially with missing people. There were stories when Gabby was missing that she was 5'6". That's great. Don't get me wrong. She would have loved that. But when she got out of bed.
Hello, and good morning. It is really nice and sunny today. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning, but it rained all afternoon yesterday.
Oh my God! The 10 is just coming in on me. The wind is so bad.
I get that. It's so fun.
Welcome back. We're live at CrimeCon 2024, and we're still in a verdict watch in the Chad Daybell death penalty verdict, so we'll bring that to you when and if it happens tonight. But right now we're talking about Gabby Petito, and just seeing her there again reminds me of what drew our attention to the story, because what I saw was a young woman, I have young children, going out on an adventure of a lifetime. right? And doing it publicly, like we do. Like we're very public, right, Julie? And she was doing it publicly on
Right.
YouTube, trying to live amazing moments.
She was living her best life. I mean, really, and people were following her adventures. You
Absolutely.
know, I mean,
And then
she
we learned
really
about him
was doing some
and
cool things, but
what happened.
Who she was with, I know.
And
It's-
still with us.
it's so dreadful.
Yeah. Gabby's parents, all 4 are here, still with us.
Boy, was she lucky to have all of you.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were lucky to have her, to be honest.
Ask her at certain points, she might not agree with you. But
No, I think she would. I think she's so proud of all of you and everything you're doing now.
So when you see the video, I know it breaks you, right? A little bit? A lot bit?
When I see her and hear her voice.
Her voice.
It's hard.
I cry a lot more now. Like it's really bad. I sent Nikki and Tara a song, like a step parent song or whatever it was, and I heard it and I just started bawling. And then I brought it in. I was like, Tara, you're gonna hate me. I sent it to her, and then she sent it to Nikki.
And then I sent it to my mother. And my mother's like, why? Why would you do this? I'm like,
So step parents are good parents. You know, I hate using the word step parent.
Yeah, there really is none. There's not.
No, there aren't.
She had 4 parents.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, because we have so many true crime people here and watching. When you're in that moment where your child is missing, what do you want a stranger to approach you? Do you not want a stranger to approach you? What is that like? And even from my perspective, I have a hard time with that. Do I want to approach them? Do they want to, invading their space?
When someone's missing?
When your child's missing. Your child's missing and it's you, and you are just somewhere, but someone knows that you're the parent of the missing child. Does it help if they approach you and say, our thoughts are with you, or is it better to keep space?
No, it helps. I mean, to me, I'll give my opinion. I'm not going to speak for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, when it's tangible help too, and they're like, "What can I do?" And then they're sharing and they're helping get the word out there. That's important to the parents.
Yeah, it shows that people care, that they're empathetic. But oftentimes people don't know what to say in that.
So what do we say?
I could tell you that we're here for you. We support you. We're whatever we can do for you, we will do. Give us the word. And we're here. Try to balance that fine line of not overstepping, but trying to be supportive, and really that goes a long way. It really does.
Exactly what Jim just said. The support and the love, it goes a long way. When Gabby was missing, it gave us a lot of hope that maybe we would find her, even though truly deep in our hearts we kind of knew that something bad happened.
But also being careful and not trusting everybody. Yes. Because
you gotta learn.
There's some bad people out there that want to harm you in some way.
You know what gets me is the word closure. Like when people say, and I understand where they mean by it. I'll never say it externally, but I'll say it here. There's no closure in the loss of a missing child. It's the little things, like you had a great day, you want to talk to your kids about it, but there's one you can't talk to, and that hurts. There's things like that. There's never closure on that. But I know what people mean by it. But internally, I'm like, no, all it allowed me to do when she was found was start the grieving process properly, is what that was.
I sort of refer to it, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, it's not closure, but it's turning one page.
Yeah, that would be more effective in terms of that.
Another chapter.
That's what
We're 3 years now since we found her. And we've been searching for people that have been in similar situations to come out and say to us, hey, this happened to our family 20 years ago. Like, we're healed. Nobody can say that because everybody's different. And the grieving never stops. You just learn how to handle it differently.
There's a lot of that here at CrimeCon too. You get people with these old cases, and it's still relevant today.
Yeah. So what I want to do now is Matt Johnson is with, and I know you've been working and speaking with this group, with Darlene Gomez, attorney for the murdered and missing Indigenous women and relatives. Matt, over to you.
Yeah, Vinny, we're still in front of the live studio audience here in front of CrimeCon Nashville 2024. However, hi, everybody. And Darlene is here and just finished a panel with the Petitos, and it really goes to the heart of their foundation of helping others and helping others outside of your community if there's a missing person. That's the work that you do. And we're talking about work of Indigenous people that are missing or murdered and the unsolved crimes. Talk to me about that and how it's a problem coast to coast.
So it's not just a problem, it's a crisis. It's a genocide of Indigenous people all over the United States. The Bureau of Indian Affairs estimates that there's about 6,000 missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Including, who's in front of you? What picture are you holding right now?
This is my friend Melissa Ann Montoya. She's been missing for 23 years from the Hickory Apache Nation in Dulce, New Mexico. So this is why I'm here today.
Okay, so at the heart of the Petito Foundation and a lot of people the reason why we're here is to help solve crimes, right? So how can people help and help with the cause?
Most definitely, if you see family members who have missing on Facebook, TikTok, and social media, please share it. Reach out to your congressman and make sure they enact laws that protect Indigenous people and they follow through with money. All
right, well, you touch all of our hearts for the work that you do. Please keep it up. Thank you so much and for the awareness. And we'll, please, if anyone has any information, please call authorities there in New Mexico or the FBI or your local police. Vinnie, I'm going to send it back to you.
That's really great information. Darlene Gomez, a very knowledgeable attorney, and that's exactly what we need, dedicated advocates. She's an advocate, and the Schmitz and the Petitos are advocates in Gabby's name. And when we think about domestic violence, something that always frightened me the most about these cases when I was a prosecutor is that they're not only crimes of violence, which is scary in and of itself, but they're crimes of secrecy. You know, it's not out in the open, it's kept hidden. What advice do you have for anyone who might be going through it right now, or anybody at home watching thinking, I think I might have a friend or loved one who may be experiencing something? What would you say to them? What's your best advice?
You're not alone.
Yeah, you're not
alone. There
Mhm.
is help out there. There are resources, and I can hold your hand and help you get there if you need. I'll call the hotline. Know when it could happen to you and the situation. Just do not judge. Just be there to hold their hand.
Always believe a victim.
Yes.
Yes. Always.
Can we give the phone number?
Sure, go ahead.
So the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799. That's the best place to start, which is the big issue. Most people don't know where to go when you're in a domestic violence situation, and that is the best entry point that you can get.
And we need to keep talking about it as a society because there is a lot of silence, a stigma around it. So let's keep sharing our stories, keep talking to survivors, and it gives other people hope.
Start.
Victim. 100%. All right, Julie, I'm going to do something right now. Prepare you. All right, these are all New Yorkers, right? Everyone's New Yorker. All right, so be straight with us. We're the media. What are we doing wrong?
Okay, so
I'll let Joe take this one.
Okay, it's not what you're doing wrong.
Okay,
all right.
Better.
You.
Victim focus.
Yes.
Victim
Yeah.
focus. Remember, at the other side of that story, there.
And
So
always
victim focused.
Always put the phone numbers up for the suicide hotline, the domestic violence hotline. That way, if
Okay, I have to cut you off because they
That's
go
okay.
after us the whole night. No,
No.
Thank you so much for all coming together and being here with us and sharing your story, your insight.
We love your Gabby.
All right.
It's an
We've
important
got more.
conversation. We do. We have
got
so
more.
much more. What a great show. This is so much fun being alongside
we're
you.
gonna go
being
back
with
for the next one.
So many wonderful people here tonight.
You ready to go back?
I'm ready.
She's freaking out. Please don't freak out. Just relax, enjoy.
It's like honestly like a dream come true, honestly, to meet you.
That's good.
I watch your show every single night.
YouTube is hot. YouTube is hot. Who has that question? Ronette has a question for me on YouTube. Great to see you. What story is hot right now? The one that's in our system of justice right now, Madeline Soto, Stephen Stearns. The lingering question in that one is mom. Is she going to be the star witness for the prosecution, or is she going to be an alleged co-conspirator? That question hasn't been answered yet, but that one is super, super hot right now for me. Also, here in Tennessee, the search for Sebastian Rogers. We've stayed on that story, that case. And that one I don't understand. A child is missing out of a home. There's no leads, no suspects, and no apparent evidence of anything. And to me, that is shocking, frustrating. Obviously, investigators know more than they've made public, but their public statements have been that there's nothing. And he's 15 years old. He's a child with autism. Where is he? You know, I think we're all holding out hope that he is still alive. So those are the ones that are hot. Right? What's the story is grabbing your
Sure,
attention
Vinny.
right now?
I'll
Ronette
tell you which
wants
one. Ronette, that's a great question. The story of Elijah Vu, the 3-year-old toddler from Wisconsin. This case nauseates me. We have the boyfriend locked up, the mother locked up. They're both on child neglect, child endangerment charges. Nobody's charged with homicide yet. Dare I say yet. But, you know, it really seems to me that mom has lied about knowing where Elijah was, about when she dropped him off with boyfriend. Why was he with boyfriend? Why was boyfriend being so hard on him, teaching him to, quote unquote, be a man? It was really, really sickening. So that's one. I don't want it to be forgotten. We've been doing a lot on opening statements about it in the mornings. And I think what's so tough is, you know, they've been searching for so long, and now it's become what seems to me, you know, to be perhaps more of a recovery type mission. You know, I don't know if there's been an official word, but I mean, this has been since, gosh, I think February.
So
I think February's been
when
missing.
a little child like that's missing, for me, if they charge the parents with anything, it tells me
Why are you here?
Because I am a true crime junkie at heart. I cannot help myself.
How long you been addicted?
Ooh, all my life.
Welcome back to CrimeCon 2024 and Closing Arguments Special Edition. Julie Grant
you're
with
so
me.
Funny. You're going to be a comedian in another life, I swear. You
I
are
sort
so
of was.
funny.
I had a morning radio show on Sirius for a while.
Yeah, you did.
And there were funny moments in it.
You're
I think.
always funny. You're multi-talented.
Thank you so much.
So bright and so funny.
I want to put a video up on the screen
Okay.
for everyone. Take a look because we're going to talk about.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you're in here. You're surrounded by so many stories, investigators,
Yeah.
cases. Your story of your daughter, like one of the biggest, but it's unsolved.
Yeah.
Where are you on that?
It's yeah, that's a good question. And so that's John's theory. Lou said, well, this is a kidnapping gone wrong.
Not the letter. I mean, for a lot of people, it always comes back to that strange letter.
Oh, it was bizarre. I mean, we couldn't figure out
investigatory tool.
But it is, yeah, exactly. And they said if we can do it. And so when 10 o'clock came along and they didn't call, the I didn't know. I thought if I have to wait another 20.
To regular folks.
Exactly. You can't make sense of it.
Okay, fantastic. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about the JonBenét case with John Ramsey. Plus, we're going to bring in our investigators to take a look. We'll be right back. We are live at CrimeCon 2024 in Nashville, Tennessee.
The importance of Black and Missing is to bring awareness to people of color that go missing. Just trying to level the playing field and make sure that we get equal coverage throughout the media.
And what's been the biggest challenge, you think, so far?
Just the awareness and people understanding that this is a problem, that 40% of the people that go missing in America is Black and brown.
Scott Morgan.
Hi, Joe.
John Ramsey. Joseph Moore. And you got Mike King.
Thanks, Suzanne. Thanks for taking some pictures. Yeah. Do you want to mean?
But yeah, he was circumstantially very compelling.
Justice.
Yep. So we're gonna listen to a little bit from Michael Vallow, who we interviewed, and then we'll bring in these guys, and we'll just finish it up. So
yeah.
I'm gonna.
I'll let you take the. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
You good?
You know the clips. Yeah, I'll let you take the lead if there's something. Can pop in. Give me a look if you'd like me to. But yeah, I'm not.
YouTube is hot. All right, folks, we're on YouTube Live right now, so don't say anything
Hi,
incriminating,
everybody on YouTube.
Joseph.
Thanks for
or
watching.
even if you got an itch, you just can't scratch it because we're live.
I'm starving. Yeah.
We got anything from the chatter?
Professor Joe, good to see you.
What do you got from the chatter?
Yeah, hug me, come in. I know, right?
Chatter.
I felt so dumb being around all those smart kids.
We're waiting to get a chatter note from everybody.
Yeah.
It's like
Aww,
they're like a
so
fly
nice
on the
having
wall.
y'all here.
YouTube. They're watching everything that we do. Hey, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe,
Yeah.
and you can go to my YouTube channel, Vinnie Politan 1. Number one. There's only one. There's only one. What do we got from the chatter box? Anything?
You're looking. 2 minutes out.
2 minutes. I need some chatter. Who's got some chatter? Anybody got chatter? On the Court TV chat? Some chatter from the chat?
Last block of the show.
So, Julie just hosted the Script Spelling Bee.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, supercalifragilistic.
I love this.
Yeah,
She was in it.
Bee was fun, yeah.
You were a speller?
Back in the day, yeah.
kidding.
Back in
Brandy B?
95, yes, a long time ago.
Brandy B, you're a fine girl. You're a real fine girl, but I get seasick. Who's over there? Oh, that's my tie. Just in case there's a verdict.
Yeah, your tie, Vinny.
Still haven't put the tie on, folks. I don't know what's going on out in
Do you think we're
Boise.
going to get it tonight?
What's
do we
going
think?
on in Boise?
I think the jury. Well, here's the question.
It's a serious thing.
I wonder if the judge will keep them over the weekend.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you know,
or
has the judge said?
Who said you're sequestered?
Vinnie, Julie, why do you think it's taking so long?
Why is it taking so long?
Holly K, wondering why is it taking so long in Daybell?
Holly K?
Holly K.
Holly K, why is it taking so long in Daybell?
Holly, I'm with you. I know how I'd vote if I was on that jury.
Yeah.
He wouldn't want me on his jury.
Wouldn't take me long either.
I went to a very small high school, and everybody knew everybody there. And Gary was what we called an orbiter. He just would orbit around our groups and stuff. So we were classmates. We knew everybody at school. It was December 26th, and it was about midnight. And I get that phone call, and it's Gary's voice, and he's like, oh, I just heard, oh, little girl, oh. Like, it was the most terrifying. I'm getting goosebumps just now telling you guys this because it was terrifying. The next morning, I get to the LA Times on the newspaper on my front porch. It's 6, 7 in the morning. I flip the newspaper open, and there it is on the back side. It says girl 6 slain in Boulder, Colorado. And I knew something serious had happened that night. I go, wow, he actually killed a girl.
Absolutely jaw-dropping. That was Michael Vale talking about a call he got from a classmate, Gary Oliva, someone who was on some people's radar, but seemingly making a confession like before it's in the paper. And there was like very little follow-up to this, I believe. There's a confession letter in a note that he wrote. And of course, we're talking about the unsolved murder of JonBenét Ramsey. Still with us, JonBenét's father, John Ramsey. And joining us are investigators who all throughout the year help us out so much at Court TV. Joseph Scott Morgan, distinguished scholar of applied forensics, professor of forensics at Jacksonville State University, and host of the extremely popular Body Bags podcast. And we've got Mike King, religious cult expert, retired police commander, host of the very popular Profiling Evil podcast, and author of the book Deceived. Great to have you both here. We're talking about JonBenét Ramsey. John is here with us. That confession, I don't understand how that doesn't become more of a focal point. I know there are false confessions in high-profile cases. John Mark Carr, I get it. But your thoughts about that, Joseph?
Well, exactly. One of the things that you have, particularly with a high-profile case, is that everybody wants attention, don't they? And you don't know what path any of these little markers along the way are going to take you down. And so the police have to be very, very careful in what they're saying. And my suspicion is, from a forensic standpoint, is that there is a lot of application of forensic science here that we don't know a lot about at this point in time as far as testing goes, what samples they have, what they're going to be testing against.
Is there any reason to not give everything to the FBI?
I don't think that there is. Why not go all in? And that's always been my contention. Is look, this has always been this festering thing that I've never been able to get past with JonBenét's case. Why not? Why not give people relief? I don't say closure because I don't think anybody actually ever gets closure, but relief from the pain of it all. And if it's that simple, engage with them. Put their full force behind this thing, and let's bring it to a resolution. Either way, at least we'll know which way the wind's blowing.
If we try that and fail, then at least we've tried.
Yes, yep, and that's the way I feel about it as well.
Mike, what are your thoughts?
You know, I think even just sitting here with John, it brings out this responsibility that I think government has to evolve. That this is no longer a time and place where you can just keep everything quiet, especially after 25 years, that you don't start to open the kimono a little and share a little information. We have seen this true crime community that we're taking part with tonight explode with information, intelligence, evidence, ideas, but we still have kind of these archaic belief systems that we got to keep it all in-house and we got to keep anyone else from seeing the secret files. And I get that you need to keep some things close to the vest so that you can use those at the proper time to impeach a potential suspect or to use at a pertinent time. But my gosh, I think it's time to start really taking advantage of all that's available and really collaborate instead of keeping all these closed communities of investigators or family or anyone else, Vinnie.
That's right. I heard some applauding from the audience, Commander. That's right. That's right. Preach. I would love to ask you both, from looking at it from an investigator's point of view, as you both are, what is the thing, if you had to touch on one thing today that troubles you the most about that case when we think about the evidence? What keeps you up when you think about that case?
I'll go first. I have to start at the beginning. I think, for me, being someone that teaches crime scene techniques and processing and all that sort of thing, and this ground has been covered extensively. It's the idea that we should be handling every scene, every time the same way, that you hold every case to the same standard. And one of the things that's really interesting here is that with Boulder, maybe they never thought that a case like this would happen. And people get caught with their pants down all the time. The fact is, it can visit anybody. It doesn't have to be a big city, a big community. So you do the same thing every single time from the perspective of there are certain procedures that you go through. Security of a scene, for instance, clearing a house, going through the house as a police officer to make sure that you've covered everything. And remember, this did not start off as a homicide investigation. This started out as a child was missing. And even in those circumstances, where have you looked? Where haven't you looked? That sort of thing. So it all starts at that moment in time where you look back in time, you say, only if we had done this. That's for me.
And I love being on with Joe Scott because I really find I learn every time I listen to him. But the thing that really gets me is that we have a problem in the industry where we oftentimes won't ask for help from the right people, perhaps even at the right or the wrong time. And in cases like this, it's always good to get a new set of eyes looking on it. I mean, I think back to a college paper that I wrote where I was convinced I had created the masterpiece of the century, only to have more red lines on that thing when a professor looked at it. So why not get other disciplines, something that might be completely outside of the criminal justice world even, to consider some of these things? But then we got to go back and look at these pools of possibilities and really start to analyze what makes them really rise to the surface versus somebody else. Because when we're dealing with predators like this that we're seeing come out even recently, we have to consider sometimes it's all about fantasy and they're just dreaming up things. Other times they might be serious contenders for what's wrong here. So,
And John, we only have about a minute left here, a little less than a minute. From your perspective, is there anything that gives you hope in getting an answer?
Well, there's been some personnel changes in the Boulder Police Department. They brought in a new chief maybe 3 years ago from the outside, which was good. We met with her. We're impressed. Slow process, but about the time we thought, hey, we're making some progress here, she took another job. So there's the assistant, her deputy chief of police is now the interim chief of police. Good guy. We met with him. But he's interim. He's hoping he can get the full-time job, but we don't know. So it's kind of in a park mode right now. I don't see that there's going to be much progress. But what you said, both of you, is exactly on target as far as I'm concerned. We've never criticized the Boulder Police for not having experience. They didn't have a homicide department. They didn't need one. Bless that.
Yeah.
But they refused help that was offered in the very beginning. Denver police offered 2 experienced homicide detectives full-time to come to Boulder. They refused that help. That was within days. And so and that's been going on almost for 28 years. So it's been very frustrating. But you're exactly right. That's
on target.
Open it up. I looked at this Idaho case, and that sheriff or that chief of police did exactly the right thing. He got,
right from the beginning. From the beginning, which was
anybody
great.
he get his hands on, he brought him in.
Yeah.
And within 3 weeks, they had it.
Right out of time for tonight. John Ramsey, thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for joining us. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
Joseph Scott Morgan, Mike King, great job. We appreciate it. So we've just gotten word, Julie, that the clock has stopped. The jury's going back to the hotel to sleep. They will be back deliberating tomorrow morning, 10:30 Eastern. So no verdict tonight in the death penalty phase of the Chad Doomsday Prophet Daybell triple murder case. So they're going to sleep on it. And I can never criticize a jury that has to make this decision. So this is tough. So that's where we are.
You're right. It's a weighty decision to make. But this is a great jury. We've seen them paying very close attention to the evidence.
They did half the job so far.
They're
We'll
ready to continue their civic duty.
Julie Grant.
Oh, Vinnie
co-hosting,
Politan,
staying
you're the
up
best.
late. She's up late for the first time.
Right,
Look
I
at
know.
that.
Past
Big thank you,
bedtime.
Julie Grant. Thank you to Matt Johnson. And a huge thank you to our great audience that has been with us all night tonight. Before we go, folks, we've got to take care of business. Take a look at your television screens right now. We have a missing child. This is Tanya LaShawn Curry, missing since May 28th out of Houston, Texas, 16 years old. This is what you need to do. If you see her, pick up the phone. You can call 911, 1-800-THE-LOST, or you can call the Harris County Sheriff's Office in Texas. Let's see if we can get Tanya to a safe place this weekend. I'm Vinnie Politan, live here in Nashville, Tennessee. Have a great night, and please don't forget to hug the kids. A picture of it?
John?
You have a card, I can take a picture of it.
I don't. And I know it's difficult. We have to do Courthouse real quick. Continue to pray. So it's one line. Or it's one line. Very bold, very brave. John?
Can you use our voiceover guy to do them?
John, would you please vouch for me? Would you please vouch for me with this gentleman and tell him that
It's a real deal.
No, in private now. I'm going to go away so he can really tell you. I'm okay to be in contact. Thank you, John.
Thank you so much. Can we have the voiceover guy do it? Monday? The voiceover guy with some Vo. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Come on in. Great to see you.